Steph Weaves Tales presents Paxwood, The Trial of the Demon Slayer, a paranormal fantasy web serial written and narrated by Stephanie Gildart. Episode 9, It's a Date. I could only guess why the paramedic kept coming back to see me, day after day, throughout my initial recovery at the hospital. But I figured it had something to do with the total reframing of his whole reality. Some people see the magic in the world and immediately dismiss it so they can move on with their lives, maintaining the same perspectives they've always had. For others, magic makes their existence suddenly add up in ways that it hadn't before. They pursued this new knowledge voraciously. I answered his questions, no hesitation. So, werewolves and vampires and demons are real. Werewolves aren't demonic, but vampires are. Werewolves are tied more to survival magic. Yes, the moon phase thing happens. Is it just wolves? There are other were-creatures beside werewolves, and they're different from shapeshifters. Shapeshifters who are born human tend to have fae ancestry. Yes, the fair folk are real. No, we don't call them fairies. What about psychics? Personally, I use the term espers to distinguish the people with actual extrasensory perception from the charlatans who pretend they do. And wizards? Witches. What do you call the people who do magic? Whatever a magic user says to call them, that's what you call them. Mage, wizard, witch, warlock, sorcerer, enchanter, artificer, spellslinger. There are a lot of traditions. Are you magic? It's some kind of prophesied blessing from some divine being that wants to keep demons off Earth. The exact source never mattered to me much, just the destiny. Am I bothering you? If you were, I'd pretend these painkillers had me out flat. When I'm out of here, I'll take you somewhere where you can get your questions answered. Like the Hands of Seers headquarters? No, someone above my pay grade would have to extend a trial and invitation for that. My introduction gets you through the door of the Golden Scales, though. Good place to make magic friends. It's a date, then. When are they releasing you? Should be tomorrow, unless there are any complications. Perfect. Just say when and where. Blame the pain meds or limb loss, but Jeremy's word choice didn't register until the dark, quiet hours of the night. It's a date, then, he'd said. Did he mean it in the informal way that meant he agreed to the plan? Or did he actually think I was flirting with him and it was a romantic invitation? Pacific time was 3 hours earlier. It wouldn't be too late. I groaned, but I called Alex. They'd understand. A call, not a text? Alex answered cheerfully. Now what's this about? No dancing around with small talk. Straight to the point. So, this paramedic, Jeremy, he saved my life. I explained Jeremy's visits, my initial assumptions, my plan to introduce him at the Golden Scales, and the date. Or non-date? Do you want it to be a date? Alex asked. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, you know. Yeah, you haven't dated anyone since Drew. Since I killed Drew, I thought, though I didn't want to start that debate. I just figured that after Veroriax was dead and gone, I'd have more space in my heart and my life for romance. So you've said, and now your demon's dead. What are you going to do about it? So I had said, any time that Alex tried to persuade me to embrace living and open my heart to romance. A couple of my non-magical friends tried to set me up too. And Ellis would bring the matter up periodically, but bear with me. It's not that I don't feel safe with someone else. I don't expect everyone to be a demon in sheep's clothing. Go on. I worry they won't be safe with me. What harm will I end up causing them because of the demons in my life? Ro! Alex groaned. 2 questions. When was the last time anyone you've ever partnered with got seriously hurt on a mission? I considered that. Can't remember. Because you throw yourself in front of the most dangerous enemies and the biggest threats, Alex said. And whose fault is it when demons hurt people? The demons. Here's what I'm thinking. You fulfilled your prophecy, and you might have unhealthy thought patterns and stupid excuses, but you're running low on reasons to avoid relationships. So do you want it to be a date? Do you like the boy? I don't even know the boy. Is he cute? I considered the sparkle in his eyes when he smiled. Yes. He's cute, and he saved your life, and you're thinking about it enough to call me at like 1 a.m. Eastern time. So it doesn't really matter if he meant it was a date or just a time you're going to spend together, Alex said. Let's assume you might be interested, and you can flirt from there. Flirt from there? I repeated, incredulous. Admittedly, 2 kinds of flirting. The kind that people practice to manipulate each other, and the kind that happens naturally when you like someone. I'm talking about the latter here. Trust your instincts, rusty as they are from being kept on a shelf for so long. Be authentically yourself. Indulge your curiosity. Ask questions. Turn toward him, not the door. Or if you really need an eye on the door, at least sit so that he's between you and the door, and you can give him some attention. You noticed that, huh? I winced. You're not the only hunter at the Golden Scales who sits where they can see the door, even with the bouncer. Right. Get to sleep, Ro. You've got a big day tomorrow, getting out of the hospital and back out into the real world, Alex said. But you have to promise to call me after the date not date and tell me all about the boy. Okay? It's a promise. After my release, I got home, showered, and took way too long deciding what to wear. Even the simplest actions were unfamiliar again with only one hand to perform them. It would be a few weeks before my residual limb healed enough for an initial prosthesis, and typically a year until it stabilized enough for a permanent prosthesis. With my accelerated healing rate, thanks to my chosen calling, I'd be ready sooner than their usual timeline. I settled on a simple, strappy summer dress with no zipper, easy to put on and still cute and complementary to my shape, even if now that shape was asymmetrical. Nothing to do but move forward, I muttered to myself as I turned away from my bedroom mirror. Jeremy met me at the intersection closest to the back alley where we could enter the Golden Scales, smiling his eye-twinkling smile. He'd gone with a fairly neutral outfit, polo shirt and jeans, not overly dressy, but not so completely casual that it dismissed any possibility he might actually be interested enough to dress up. It's good to see you out of the hospital, he said in greeting. How are you feeling? Had better days, had worse days. The Golden Scales is this way. I nodded toward the alley. Words stuck in my throat. What was I supposed to be saying if this was a date? Did I ask him? Not ask him? Just focus on natural conversation? What did natural conversation even sound like? When we came to the door, he took a quick step in front of me, reaching out for the handle. As he did, I thought I caught the smallest hint of red in his cheeks. Embarrassment? Maybe we were both a little nervous. I stepped back to give him room to hold the door for me before I passed by him and offered a quick thanks. Alista said you'd be coming in today, the bouncer said in greeting. Go on in. I'd had no expectations bringing Jeremy to the Golden Scales. This was supposed to be an introduction on a normal weekday. Not the busiest day, but regulars would be there. When Jeremy opened the second door for me and I crossed through, the speakeasy was full, and a congratulations banner dangled from the ceiling. Most of the patrons broke into cheers and applause. For me. Alista came up and gave me a hug, then whispered in my ear, I only knew you'd be here tonight because Alex told me, but let's keep that between us. I laughed as she headed back to her usual spot at the bar. Then, I took in the actual faces of those who were there. Either out of coincidence or actively for me. Ellis, Chris, was at one table with a collection of other familiar faces from the Hands of the Seers. Well, I came to introduce you so you'd have some other connections to the magic world, and we might as well get started, I said to Jeremy, trying to play down the rush of emotion I felt. We circled the room together, and I accepted a mix of congratulations, condolences, and relief all around. At some point, Georgette ensured both Jeremy and I would have some sparkling wine to toast with as we moved between tables. Bad luck not to toast together, she explained. There was plenty for her to handle with the number of patrons who'd showed up for me, so she didn't linger long. When Jeremy and I finally had a table to ourselves, I felt surprisingly invigorated. "You look lighter," Jeremy said, and he wasn't wrong. I'd fulfilled my prophecy and lived to tell the tale. This was the first moment it actually set in. I smiled at him. I have my whole life ahead of me, free from Feroriax's shadow. Whatever I do next, it will be wholly my choice. And it's thanks to you. I lifted my glass, and we toasted. "Wrong place, right time," he said. "I didn't tell you. My car broke down about a block away from that warehouse, and the reception was unusually terrible. I was looking for a signal when I heard you. Off duty, not even meant to be there, but I'm glad for that little twist of fate bringing us together," I said. A blush warmed my cheeks, but he reached across the table and put a hand on mine. Me too. We didn't even know each other. Was I supposed to ask him questions about himself or something like that? But what questions? Jeremy gave me a way out of the silence. "When you introduced that group sitting next to Ellis, you called them your six. Six what?" "Oh, well, they're not really my six, but I worked with them on and off over the last couple of years," I said, turning a bit toward the table. "They're a team of 6 people, each with a particular specialty. They don't always work together, but they train together regularly so that if their combined skills are needed for a mission, they can come together." "That 6? They're artifact recovery specialists." "Tell me about it," Jeremy said with a smile. "So, last summer, I joined them on a mission to France." Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Paxwood Book 2, The Trial of the Demon Slayer, is written and narrated by Stephanie Gildart. That's me. Theme music composed by Human Nature. Visit paxwoodtales.com to read the story as it unfolds. Want to read over my shoulder while I write what's next? Catch me live on Twitch for laid-back virtual co-working and crafting. If you like the story and you want more, like, review, comment, subscribe, and if you're feeling particularly entangled, buy me a skein of yarn on Coffee. Carrie's Paranormal Tip of the Day. If you find someone willing to answer your questions about magic, you don't have to date them, but you should definitely treasure them.